We recently celebrated Mother's Day, honoring the First Lady in our lives. The same appreciation and care should be extended to Mother Earth. And recently, the Fort Worth Botanic Garden opened a new exhibit featuring 80 large animal sculptures made strictly from regenerated plastic. Paige is live in Fort Worth to tell us so much more. Hello, Paige.
Hello, good morning to you, and good morning, Texas. Now this is one big bunny, and he is making quite a statement along with 80 of his friends. These are all made out of recycled products, and this is so consistent with the mission of the Fort Worth Botanic Gardens. I'm excited to introduce you to George Cribbs to tell us about this fantastic new exhibit and its meaning. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Welcome back to the garden.
Thank you so much. So why did you choose to do an exhibit like this?
For several reasons. Number one, because I liked it a lot. Number two, it's really close to our own mission statement and what we want to show the public. It's called cracking art because the term cracking is how you turn raw petroleum products into plastics. So what they take is plastics out of recycling centers, out of landfills, out of trash, and they crack them into these art pieces. And I love that because we're very, very enthusiastic about sustainability and conservation here. So if I'm going to put some art in the garden, I want it to really mesh with our mission for it as well.
And as I mentioned, you've got 80 different sculptures. We have video that we took earlier this morning that I want our viewers to take a look at that shows how creative these different sculptures are. You have a wolf pack, speaking of one in particular.
We do.
And they're all kind of standing at an assembly, and that's just one grouping. And then you also have some pretty impressive snails throughout the park as well.
We do. The snails, there's the most snails of any of them. There's a giant snail that kind of at the start of the boardwalk, and then all along the boardwalk, climbing up trees, climbing on the posts, there's little snails. And then at the end of the boardwalk, there's these medium-sized snails, which are about the size of these rabbits. The snails do an important job in nature, so it's not just flashy things.
Tell us what they do, remind us.
Well, all of the insects and small animals like that are a vital part of the circle. The snails will eat bugs or aphids off some of the plants. They take care, they're fertilizer when they're done, you know? So every creature that lives in the garden is a really important part of the cycle of the garden.
Well, and speaking of cycle, let's talk about recycle, because this was an exhibit that came from Italy.
It did.
And the company itself is called Kraken Art.
Kraken
and
Art.
They are very, very committed to using and repurposing these kinds of products that would ultimately wind up in a landfill.
In a landfill or being burned and releasing all of those chemicals. Each of their pieces has a 5-year lifespan. And at that point, they're melted down and made into new pieces. And they also take more plastic out of the landfill or recycling center to make more of those pieces. So they're all about putting back and taking out rather than being a part of the problem. And I loved that. There are other installations all around the world, from every continent except Antarctica, to be honest. They put them in city centers, in like the square in the middle of Milan, or like Times Square in New York, you know, but to put them in a botanic garden, I think makes the most sense.
And how has the response been? I heard a story early on that kind of the minute you put the bunnies out, you had a pretty big response.
It's absolutely true. We put the big bunny down off the truck, walked back to the path, honest to God, no more than 10 seconds, turned around, and there was a swarm of children around the bunny, just loving on him. And I like that. This company is very big on not putting guards around them. They want people to walk right up to them and touch them. We just ask that people don't climb on them.
Which is also very tempting.
It's very tempting, it is, especially these lower ones. But, you know, we don't want people to fall off and have an accident. So you're welcome to touch them and hug them and love on them. I've seen some great pictures of families visiting with kids hugging the wolves or the snails or the rabbits, and I love that. Because I think art should be approachable as well as impressive.
And it also starts a conversation.
It really does.
Even for the kids at a young age, where the parents can say, you know, this bunny that you're hugging, or this bunny that's really delighted you, there's a story behind it.
Right.
And it's important that you know, as a child, be a part of the story and be a part of the equation so that we can really continue to be kind to Mother Earth.
It's so true, because it's their world that they're going to inherit.
That's right.
You know, so if we start them thinking about how to make it a better world, then they'll just have a better world to inherit.
The Botanic Gardens I've said this on air a number of times. I truly believe it's the jewel of Fort Worth. It is so beautiful, and you really can get lost on these fantastic paths. The rose garden we see behind us, one of many ponds and other water features that are throughout the Botanic Gardens. And the great thing is that you have an opportunity to see these sculptures with the admission price into the gardens.
That's right.
And so this is just another added incentive to come
really
and
is.
to be a part of
It
this.
really is. That's what I look to do is for guests that visit us more than once a year or every year, there's always going to be something different here, something that you haven't seen, that's an additional experience for you. And they're always included with general admission.
That's fantastic.
So it's an exhibition for free.
Exhibition for free, so you definitely want to come and check this out. This is going to be continuing through September 1st, and then after that they're going to bring in something else fantastic. They always do. You can find out more information by going online. Your web address is on the screen, and you can also purchase tickets there as